I was reaching for the car keys when my son suddenly grabbed my wrist. His grip was firm, too firm for a 9-year-old. "Dad, let's not take the car," he said. "Let's take a taxi." I looked down at him. His gaze didn't waver, and there was something unsettling in his voice, a calmness too mature for his age. "Why?" I asked, a flicker of unease crawling up my spine. He hesitated, then quietly said, "You'll see. Just get out. Please." Something in his tone stopped me cold. I didn't argue. I pocketed the keys, took his hand, and stepped away from the driveway. We crossed the street in silence. I kept looking down at him, but he didn't say another word. He didn't even glance back. 5 minutes later, we turned the corner, and that's when I saw her. I stopped breathing. 6 months ago, if someone had told me my wife would try to have me killed, I would have laughed. We had a home people envied, a marriage that looked like it was built on rock-solid trust, a smiling son who knew nothing of fear or broken promises. But perfection, I've learned, is just thin paper. One spark, and it burns. I wasn't naive, but I was in love. And love blinds even the clearest vision. I ignored the signs, the late-night calls that ended too quickly, the locked phone, the emergency trips to see her sister. The way she stopped looking at me over breakfast, how her smile became something she put on like makeup. But I couldn't ignore what happened 3 months ago. My son came to me trembling. "Mom said if you ever leave her, bad things will happen." He didn't understand the weight of those words. But I did. That was when I started paying attention, really paying attention. The brake failure I chalked up to bad luck. The antifreeze placed just inches from the kids' juice boxes in the pantry. The gas leak that appeared on the one night I went to bed early. She was precise. But I am too. I bought a second phone, installed hidden cameras. I even hired someone to follow her. And that's how I found him. The man. I watched her kiss him before slipping him an envelope in front of a rundown motel. I'll never forget the way he took it, carefully, like it contained something heavier than documents. Sometimes murder isn't loud. It isn't messy. It's clinical, whispered, delivered under motel neon with polite hands and cold eyes. That's when I started building my plan, not with anger, but with precision. I rewrote my will, quietly. Everything went to my son, not a single coin to her. I retained lawyers and sealed every document tight. Then I went to the police, filed a confidential report, an insurance policy of sorts. I gave them everything: dates, photos, suspicious incidents, voice recordings, witness statements, a paper trail she didn't know I had. And then I played my part, the loving husband, the oblivious father, the one who never saw it coming. I used the same car every day, took the same route, the same time. I made routine my bait. That morning, she made pancakes. Her kisses lingered on my cheek a beat too long. Her smile was a touch too perfect. "Pick him up from school today?" she asked, brushing imaginary lint from my shoulder. "Of course," I replied. "Drive safe," she added. She sealed it with that. I picked up my son as usual. He climbed into the passenger seat, quiet. And as I reached for the ignition, his hand shot out and clutched my arm. "Let's not take the car," he said. That was when everything shifted. Children have a way of sensing danger adults overlook. "You'll see," he whispered. "Just get out. Please." I listened. Minutes later, from across the street, I saw him, the man from the motel. He moved toward my car casually, a backpack slung low, a baseball cap pulled over his face. He crouched by the driver's door. A glint of wire caught the sunlight. My legs gave out. She wasn't planning for a custody battle. She was planning a funeral. My funeral. But I was ready. 20 minutes later, the police arrived. The bomb squad disarmed the device. The man was arrested without a fight. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. My files did the talking: videos, voice recordings, digital logs, financial transactions. Her signature on the motel check-in. Her voice on a voicemail, whispering, "Do it when he picks up the kid." They came for her that night. Cuffed her right outside her home. I watched through the window as she screamed my name. Not in regret, but disbelief. She thought she was clever. But she hadn't been watching me. Not really. In court, I stayed silent. The evidence was overwhelming. Motive, intent, opportunity. She wept. She lied. She denied. Her lover cracked first. Accepted a deal. Gave her up without a second thought. She turned to me once, her eyes wild, begging me to say something. And I did. Just one sentence.
Calm. Cold.
You almost turned our son into an orphan. That broke her. It's been 3 months since. The house is quiet now. Peaceful.
Honest.
My son still doesn't talk much about that day, but he holds my hand tighter than he used to. And when he looks at me, I know he saved my life. Sometimes, when the world feels still and safe again, my son will look up at me, those same steady eyes, and quietly say, "I'm glad you listened." Every time, I answer the same way. So am I. I don't sleep deeply anymore. Not because I'm afraid, but because habit holds tight. Awareness doesn't fade. It sharpens. Trust, I've learned, is delicate. It bends under silence. It breaks under secrets. But vigilance is forged like steel. It doesn't flinch. She thought I would crumble before I uncovered the truth. Thought I'd go to my grave too blind, too trusting, too in love to see what she really was. But what she never understood, what she never even thought to consider, was that the life she tried to destroy was built by my hands. I laid every brick. I knew every corner. And I knew how to protect it. In the end, I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't retaliate with fire. I watched. I listened. I waited. And when the moment came, I stripped the mask from her carefully constructed lies and burned it. Quietly, completely. I didn't need chaos. I didn't need blood. I didn't need revenge. I had the truth. And the truth, in the right hands, is justice. It arrived not with noise, but with precision. Not with vengeance, but with purpose. Just as she believed she'd succeeded, just as she felt untouchable, it all unraveled. She tried to end my life with a whisper. So I ended hers with the truth.